This is the 2018 Volkswagen Golf R, the top dog in the Volkswagen Golf range. And the number 2 car, surprisingly, isn't the GTI, it's the e-Golf. Volkswagen treats this car and the e-Golf as their top models, and I'll show you that on the inside. Is this still the best Volkswagen Golf to get if you're a performance-oriented driver? Or is the GTI now packaged to a point that it makes this car seem quite expensive? We'll get to the price as we go through it. I think that this car definitely looks much more aggressive. From the headlights down in the front, that's where the facelift happens. You now have on this Golf R standard LED adaptive headlamps. You also get bigger air intakes, new front chin spoiler, and along the side of the car you get side sills. It really does make the car look planted on the ground. Around the back from the tail lamps down is all new for 2018 as well. Now the thing I haven't talked about is the color. This car is purple, and if you want to get attention, buy a purple Golf R. I've had this car for 2 weeks over the holidays and it turns heads everywhere it goes, either for the good or the bad. You can now pick a Volkswagen Golf R with 30 optional custom colors. It costs $3,000, but you can get a whole palette of different colors. And if I was going to buy this car, I would certainly choose my own custom color. This car also has the $250 optional 19-inch wheels. The base wheels on this car are also 19 inches. So let's have a look inside. We'll take it for a drive, and at the end we'll discuss whether this car still is the best Golf to buy. So I mentioned at the beginning, Volkswagen treats the e-Golf and the Golf R as the top models in the lineup because those are the only 2 models so far that have the digital dashboard behind the steering wheel. It's optional on the e-Golf, it's standard equipment on this Golf R. So that's one feature that you might or might not like. I find them kind of gimmicky. I typically set it up to the way I like it and then I leave it, but I guess the nice thing is you set it the way you like it and then you leave it, which is maybe different than the way I like it. And you also get the largest head unit. And the good thing about the 18 Golfs overall is they've all been updated with new larger head units, and they look better, they're much faster, they all come with standard Android Auto and Apple CarPlay. Now let's get into the specifics of the GTI and this Golf R. First of all, you get the leather seats, you get the embossed R on the seats. You do not, however, get a sunroof on the Golf R, and for some people that's a real sticking point. For me, I don't like sunroofs, so that's one thing you can get on the Autobahn version of the GTI. Also, some people like those plaid seats you get in the GTI, not available in the Golf R. It's leather or nothing. However, they are heated, which is nice. What you don't get, though, even at this $42,000 price range, is a heated steering wheel, which I've had this over the Christmas break, and I would have liked that because we've had snow and ice. Now, the one thing I will say about all of the Golfs, whether it's the base model all the way up to the Golf R, they are very nicely fitted on the inside. The switchgear is upscale. It looks nice. I call it Audi Light, and I still hold by that. It's a nice size car as well. Even though it's compact, it's got a flat, straight roof. It offers lots of headroom. I get lots of emails from people saying, I'm a big guy. I want to be able to fit in a car comfortably. I always say start with German cars because the Germans can be big, yeah? And this car will fit somebody that's easily 6'3" or 4, no problem. So Volkswagen made some changes to the GTI range for 2018, making what used to be the performance package as standard equipment, which bumped the horsepower up to 220 horsepower. However, for the Golf R, they did not bump the power. It's still at 292 horsepower, but over in Europe, the Golf R did get a performance upgrade. So that makes the GTI a bit more of a compelling package compared to this car. Now, what do you get with the Golf R that you don't get with the GTI? Well, first and foremost, you get the 4Motion all-wheel drive system, and you get a 72 horsepower bump to 292, as I mentioned. And that is something that is going to lure a lot of Canadians in, that standard all-wheel drive. And I had a chance here in Vancouver, even though we typically don't get snow, we got a good dump of snow over the Christmas holidays, and I did get a chance to drive this car quite a bit, and I love the sure-footedness of it, but a big part of that came to the fact that Volkswagen installed good winter tires on this car. Even if you got the GTI without the all-wheel drive, I think you could do really well in the winter with a good set of winter tires. So it's something to keep in mind when we go through the price differences of these cars. Now, this car is equipped with the dual clutch, and it is very, very quick. You can get very, very quick downshifts and lightning quick upshifts, almost instantaneous. However, there's a trend away from dual clutch transmissions in the Volkswagen family, especially at Audi. They're noticing a lot of people don't like the jerkiness on and off the throttle in stop and go traffic. And I had a chance to drive this car in bumper to bumper Christmas shopping traffic. I took my wife out, we went shopping, and she says, why do you like this car? It's so jerky, it's making me feel sick. And I didn't say anything about it. She just noticed that right away based on the transmission. Now you can get around the jerkiness if you drive the automatic or the DSG in manual mode, which is what I've been doing 99% of the time. It really smooths out the driving experience. If it was me, this wouldn't even come into play. I've had a chance to drive the regular Golf R with the manual, the 6-speed, and with the dual clutch, and it's just a much more invigorating and connected driving experience. So if you drive manual, do yourself a favor and get this car with a manual transmission. If you want the automatic, you're best to drive it in manual mode. Now this car has one optional package for it. You get the adaptive cruise control, the blind spot detection, rear traffic alert, a front assist, autonomous braking, all the advanced safety features that you've come to expect with many auto manufacturers as standard equipment. But even on this expensive Golf R, they still charge you $1,500 for that, which is a package I personally wouldn't get. So the question is, Golf R or GTI? Well, the extra 72 horsepower certainly makes a difference. You can notice that. But the one thing about the GTI, I drove it last year almost exactly the same time, is it feels lighter. It feels more nimble on its feet. This car, even though it has the dynamic chassis control where you can adjust the chassis just to the way you like it, I find it's a bit soft. Even on the racetrack about a year and a half ago at Calabogie, getting a chance to drive this on the racetrack, I found the suspension really quite soft, which brings me to kind of what this car is. I call it Audi Light, and it really does feel like that. It feels a lot like an Audi product. I'm going to get to the prices in just a moment. Last year I said don't buy the GTI, get the Golf R based on price. I think I'm flipping that around now. I think get the GTI Autobahn manual transmission and save around $7,000. So the previous Golf R started around $40,000. For this facelift, Volkswagen has taken the opportunity to up the price. So the price now is $42,000 in Canada. If you want to get the 7-speed DSG, the same one that's equipped here, is $43,000. The optional paint is $3,000. This one has the driver assist safety package, and the optional wheels brings the price of this car you see here to $48,000. That is a lot of money. But here we go. Is this still the best Golf to buy? Let's have a look at the GTI. The GTI starts, no longer available with the 3-door, only the 5-door, at just over $30,000. That's a whole lot cheaper than this car, but that's not the one Volkswagen wants you to buy. They want you to buy the Autobahn trim. That's almost $36,000 for the manual and $37,000 for the DSG, but you get the larger 18-inch wheels, you get the Fender audio, you get the LED headlamps, and you get a sunroof. That's probably the one that most people are going to gravitate towards, because this car now is starting to get expensive. For me, I would get that Autobahn trim with the manual transmission and I'd be perfectly happy. So this car is great to drive. I would get it with the manual, not loving the DSG. It could be a little firmer for my liking as well, which makes me feel that if I was personally going to buy one of these cars, I think I would get the GTI over the R and invest in a good set of winter tires.